A very good evening to all of you. I am Shafana from Student Forum of Candid Association of Candy Chartered Accountancy. Today we are having the third session of the Journey to Becoming a Chartered Accountancy series, which we have organized with the intention of encouraging chartered accountancy students and also to becoming a chartered accountants at their earliest period. So, on behalf of the Association of Candy Chartered Accountancy Student Forum, I warmly welcome to all of you for today's session. First of all, I would honor to invite Mr. Dhammika Gunasekara to address you all on behalf of the Association of Candy Chartered Accountancy, who was the partner of Anson Young Candy and who initiated the Association of Candy Chartered Accountancy since 2016. Yeah, sir, this is your time.
Good evening, everyone. It is great pleasure to join this evening with you all for the third session of Journey to Become a Chartered Accountant. So we as an Association of Candy Chartered Accountants of Candy, commonly known as AKCA, wish to have more and more chartered accountants from Candy and also the different part of the country. So as we have seen tremendous opportunity for the CA members, not only Sri Lanka, but also in the different part of the world. So we want more and more chartered accountants, especially if you look at our surrounding area, Candy. So we are working on hard to get more chartered accountants and bring people uh, to the path. To encourage you all, so share all our experience with collaboration with our student forum, but we thought to have some series of session to encourage you all to become a chartered accountants. So we named that as a journey to become a chartered accountant. So, but we thought like we are getting involved very successful chartered accountants who pass their journey with different difficulties and then achieve their ultimate motive, ultimate goal. So we are getting them involved. They have a vast experience and knowledge to share with you all. So we want to encourage and show you that this is a very possible task if you have a correct mindset and if you are passionate about this. So what we want to convey that message, if you have a right mindset and commitment, you all can become a chartered accountants. With the pure purpose of that, today also we have invited Jeewantha Perera. So Jeewantha and myself, we were at the same office, EY Colombo. So we were at the same office, we work together. Now he's head of finance of Browns Group Hotel and Resorts Limited. And he's a well-known lecturer and he says a passionate about educating the people and students. And he has a vast experience share with you all. And he want to like share his experience with you all. We invited Jeewantha, and also we want to explain. So sometimes you feel like you are having a very tough time in your journey, but if you look at a certain journey we have come across and certain experience we had, it's a your journey is not that much hard. So because we have a lot of communication opportunities, you get a lot of access to the knowledge and other information. It's a matter of your commitment to achieve success and get access to the correct right path. So but we thought like we will with Jeewantha Perera, so we are trying to encourage and ask him to share his experience and also the given some strategy to face your exams. So even I know exams are very close by. So next month, this month you'll have an exams. This is the right time to get some strategies for face the exams. And also if you think like you're under pressure, so he will give some um, feedback. So how to manage that stress and how to face the exam more effectively. So trust this will be a very timely, fruitful session. You all get maximum out of this session. We want so I would like to invite Jeewantha to start the proceedings. So at the during the discussion panel discussion time, so if you want to share our experience, we also can do. But take this forward. I would like to invite Jeewantha to take this event forward. Over to you, Jeewantha.
Okay, thanks, Dhammika. Thanks, Viraj, my friend who works with me at LOLC, and Dhammika, works with me at EY as well. So, do you all, am I audible?
Yes, Jeewantha. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Let me share the screen for you. Okay. Can you see the screen?
Yes, sir, we can see.
Right. Okay. Fine. So let me start out the proceeding like this. So, the whole purpose of this session is to give you a detailed understanding of how you're going to tackle the exams and brief heads up with regard to the career potentials of being a chartered accountant. So after that, we'll go for the Q&A session as well, so that you can ask whatever the clarifications that you wanted. So we'll start the proceeding like this. So can all of you see the screen, the first slide? Viraj, can you see the screen?
Yes, Jeewantha. Go ahead. Yeah, we can see.
Okay, fine. Okay, so thank you. So the journey to become a chartered accountant. Okay, so let me start off the proceeding like this. So where are you and what you wanted to be? Okay, so where are you and what you wanted to be? So in my personal life, so after completing my A levels in 2002, I started chartered in 2003 with the objective of becoming a chartered accountant at the age of 25. So that's what my whole ambition when I leave the school in 2002 and when I started Chartered Foundation in 2003, because I'm a student at that time who straight away started chartered rather than doing double AT. So my objective is to become a chartered accountant at the age of 25. I achieved my target at the age of 23 and a half. So let's say at 24. So if you want to become a chartered accountant, so these are basically the presentation or the theoretical, the practical aspects, which I personally believe that which is mandatory to all the students who are doing chartered. So if you want to become a good chartered accountant, so as per my understanding and as per my estimates, so there are three important characteristics. Number one, you should have the required qualification, plus you should have the required experience, plus the soft skills as well. So the collaboration of all these three things together will generate a good, solid chartered accountant. So qualification has to be there, experience has to be there, and the required soft skills has to be there. So now the concern arises how you are going to obtain the qualifications. You can obtain the qualifications by completing exams. Remember, you cannot obtain the qualifications by doing exams. Doing exams and completing exams are two different things. You can do exams whatever the time you want, but if you want to become a chartered accountant, this is your ultimate glory. So if you want to become a chartered accountant, you need to complete the exams. Then how you're going to obtain the experience? So in practical aspects, in the commercial world, experience is segregated into two. Number one, you will be having the pre-qualification experience, and number two, you will be having the post-qualification experience. Okay, what do you mean by pre-qualification experience? That is a number of years of experience that you are having before you obtain in the chartered qualification. Number of years of experience that you have before you become a member of the institute. That is what you referred as pre-qualification experience. Number two, the post-qualification experience means the other way around. So number of years of experience that you have after obtaining the chartered qualification. Right. Then having completing the exams, having obtained the experience, won't do the job unless otherwise you have the required soft skills. So as per my estimates, for you to become a good chartered accountant, there are three soft skills that you need to develop: English, IT skill, and you need to be a good team player as well. You may be talented 100%, but if you're not being a good team player, I don't think that you can become a good chartered accountant. So basically, if you want to become a good chartered accountant, you need to have the required qualification, then the experience, and the soft skills. So the amalgamation of all these three will develop a solid chartered accountant. Okay, my other question, chartered accountant, is it a designation or a qualification? Is it a designation or a qualification? Okay, students, am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Right, okay. So chartered accountant, is it a designation or a qualification? Okay, it is considered as a qualification. Right. So when focusing on the corporate ladder, okay. So when focusing on the corporate ladder, right. So we'll concentrate on this corporate ladder. Okay. So as young audit trainees or people who are working in the mercantile sector, we will be starting our career as account assistants. So if you work in an audit firm, it has to be audit trainee. So this is basically the corporate ladder to all the chartered accountants. So you will be starting your career as accounts assistant, then you will be moved to accounts officer, then the senior accounts officer, then accounts executive, senior accounts executive, assistant accountant, accountant, finance manager, senior finance manager, financial controller, sector CFO or group CFO, chief executive officer. Then your final destination would be either MD or board of directors, right? Okay. For you to go to this top level, okay, for you to go to this top level, chartered accountant qualification will provide the solid background. So if you want to become a CEO of a conglomerate, or if you want to become a managing director, or if you want to become a board member, okay, chartered accountant, the qualification chartered accountant will provide you the solid background. So this qualification is very much important for you to climb up in this ladder. Okay, so then I'm asking a small question. So I'll go to the in depth of this analysis at the later stage. Okay, so if you want to become a chartered accountant, or if you want to become a CEO of a company, okay, what would be the ideal age? So it has to be either at the age of 45. So if you want to become a CEO at the age of 45, so then you need to have the required experience developed, and you need to have the required soft skills as well. So the amalgamation of qualifications, experience, and soft skills will give a solid background for you to become a CEO at the age of 45. So basically, in summary form, this slide shows you the entire career path that you can develop once you started your career from the bottom of this ladder. So if you want to become a CEO, if you want to become MD or a board of director, so the chartered accountancy qualification will give you a solid foundation for that. Right. Okay. So what are the key advantages of you becoming a chartered accountant? So I'll share this presentation with Viraj and the team so that you can take you can keep this presentation with you. Okay, so what are the key advantages of you becoming a chartered accountant? Okay, so the first one, which will give you a high professional credibility. Chartered accountant is a globally respected and recognized professional. So it will give you a high professional credibility. Then it will create excellent career opportunities for you, because chartered accountants are highly demanded in public sector as well as in the corporate sector as well. So being a chartered accountant will give you a high career opportunities as well. Because for an example, I started my career at EY as an audit trainee in 2006. Then 2006 to 2009, I was at EY. Then 2009 to 2012, I was at Brandix. So Brandix recruited me as an accounts executive. Brandix recruited me as an accounts executive. I was qualified at that time, but they wanted me to come as an accounts executive. So I worked there for 2.5 years. Then I left Brandix under the designation of manager, who is basically responsible for GL, bank reconciliations, and account receivable as well. Then in 2012, I joined LOLC, Browns Hotels and Resorts, as a finance manager. So now I'm heading the entire leisure sector of LOLC group, which is referred as Browns Hotels and Resorts. I'm working as the head of finance of Browns Hotels and Resorts. So it will give you a good career opportunities. Then strong earning potential. So the average salary of a chartered accountant in an average in the current business context amounts to 400,000 to 500,000. A recently qualified chartered accountant. So it will give you a strong earning potential as well. So when you do have the experience, so your earning potential, your earning capacity will be skyrocketed. Then global recognition and mobility. So being a chartered accountant, the profession or the qualification is recognized worldwide. So it will give more recognition and more mobility for you to enhance your career. Then the pathway to leadership, then the entrepreneurial advantage and continuous process development. So those are the key advantages that you are having once you're becoming a chartered accountant. So overall, once you become a chartered accountant, your job security and the stability is at the very highest stage. So for chartered accountants, we would say 100% job security is there and 100% job stability also there. Then you will be getting the privilege to diversify your work environment. So you should be able to work with the diversified working environment as well. Finally, once you become a chartered accountant, so it will improve your ethical framework as well. So basically, those are the two slides which I want to discuss with you for you to give a detailed understanding of the value of you becoming a chartered accountant. Right. Okay. Now coming back to the topic. Why chartered is considered as a difficult exam? Why chartered is considered as a difficult exam? Okay, so there are several factors that you need to consider. Chartered is considered as testing several complex concepts. So understanding of and complicated accounting, auditing principles, standards, procedures is challenging. So that is why most of the students think that the chartered is a difficult exam. Then it is highly technical nature. You need to have a deep understanding with regard to the accounting systems, internal controls, auditing standards, tax regulations, etc., etc., and etc. So chartered is more a technical nature exam. You need to have deep understanding with regard to the accounting standards, auditing standards, internal controls, tax regulations. So likewise, so that therefore most of the students are thinking that chartered is a difficult exam. Then it's a dynamic field. For an example, the environment which we learn chartered, is totally different when it's come to the current business context. Okay, so it's a dynamic field. So standards are getting changed, tax regulations are getting changed, business environment is getting changed, internal control frameworks are getting changed, the risk assessments are getting changed. So chartered is considered as highly dynamic field. Then this will be the most important point. Critical thinking and analytical skills is a must for chartered exams. You need to be a very critical thinker and you should have the super analytical skills for you to tackle down the exams in chartered. Then most of the time, real world applications are tested in the paper itself. So whatever the theories which you are learning in the classroom will not be tested as it is at the exam. Whatever the theories which you are learning in the classroom will not be tested as it is at the exam. So therefore, at the exam, a theoretical application will be tested. So therefore, the students who are doing chartered, specifically at the strategic level 1 and the corporate level, students who are doing chartered should have the ability to apply the theories which you are learning in the classroom to the practical scenario at the exam. So most of the students are failed to do that. That is why they are falling short with regard to the cutoff mark. Right. Okay. So altogether, why chartered is considered as a difficult subject? The first point, lesser understanding of logical connection of theory and application. That is what I explained you previously. As chartered students, you need to have an in detail logical understanding with the theories which you are learning with the applications. Then number two, lesser understanding of the connection between theoretical aspects. So one theoretical aspect is directly related to another theoretical aspect as well. So when you look at auditing, one auditing standard is directly linked with another auditing standard as well. So for you to get the detailed understanding, you need to identify, you need to know the logical connection of the theoretical aspects. So the third one would be lack of practicing questions. So this is one of the main weak areas which I see as a lecturer, because I've been conducting lectures for almost 16 years now. So my area is corporate audit. So advanced audit and assurance at corporate level. So one of the main weaknesses which I'm seeing in students is a lack of practicing questions. So they are not practicing questions enough before they sit into the exam. So therefore, don't test your luck at the exam paper. I'm repeating this again and again and again. Don't test your luck at the exam paper. So therefore, you need to practice yourself before you go to the paper. Finally, this is one of the key area. So the lack of commitment of the students also considered as another factor for students to decide, for students to think that the chartered is a difficult exam. So from this side, I basically highlighted the theoretical aspects, why that has been considered as a difficult subject, difficult exam, and the middle will give you the exact reason plus the collaboration of the lack of the commitment as well. Right? Are we clear up to this point? Any questions? Are we clear up to that point? Any questions? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Okay, so the way forward, what is your plan? Okay, so way forward, what is your plan? Okay, so this has been segregated into two phases. Okay, the way forward, and this has to be your plan. Okay, number one, discussion of theory with practical applications as a group work, which is a mandatory requirement.
Sir?
I think you're mute, sir.
Jeewantha, you're on mute, I think.
Okay, am I audible now?
Yes,
Yes,
now
sir.
Okay, let me share the screen once again. Okay, can you see the screen now? Viraj, can you see the screen?
yes, we can see. Please go ahead.
Right. Okay, fine. So the first thing, okay, so you need to get together as group and you need to do the group work now, because you have only 2 to 3 weeks to go to the exam. So rather than you individually studying alone, better to group yourself with equally competent students and study. So you can discuss the theory with the practical application. This is how I completed Chartered. I still remember when I was doing my final exams in 2008. I got qualified in 2008. When I was doing my exam final Chartered final 2 in 2008, we got 6 people to get together and we studied. So I still remember I went to the institute library or institute study hall at around 6:30 in the morning, and we study till 9:30 at night. Continuously, අපි එක දිගට study කරන්නේ, but we will be taking a small break as well. But that gives you a lot of comfort. But remember, for you to do group work, you need to complete the individual study. That is a must. Group work එකක් කරන්න යන්න කලින් individually පාඩම් කරලා ඉන්න ඕන. If you don't study individual theoretical aspects, don't go to group work now. Because for you to do group work with a group, you need to have the you need to complete the theory at alone as well. Then you need to do the past paper. Past paper discussion is a must for you to tackle exams, especially if a subject like audit. Okay, if a subject like audit, past paper discussion is a must. Then finally, phase one, the final one would be short notes. So I'll give some examples of the short notes which I prepared when I'm doing lectures for Chartered Advanced Audit and Assurance in a later stage. Okay, so the phase one basically consists of discussion with theory with the practical application as a group, then the past paper discussion again as a group, and you need to prepare short notes as well. Then the phase number two would be model paper discussions with mock exams and discussions of target areas as well. So by this time, you should be mainly focusing on phase number two. So you need to complete your theory as of now. Whatever the past papers which you can do up to this point, you need to complete. Then you need to prepare the short notes as well. So phase one, ideally phase one should be completed by this date. So you will be having the exams on 21st and 22nd and 28th, if I'm not mistaken. So you have another 14 days to go to commence the exam. Right. So in that context, as of now, the phase one should be completed. Now it is the ideal time for you to focus on phase number two, which is model paper discussions with mock exams, and you need to focus on the related target areas as well. So for you to identify the related target areas, it is mandatory for you to complete the past papers. Okay, to achieve all this, you need to have proper study strategies. Okay, so what are the strategies that you need to have? I'm not going to go in detail all these stuff, so I'll give the audience to ask questions since we do have a limited time frame. Okay, so you need to develop a structured audit plan. Okay, for you to get through this exam, the first important strategy is to develop a structured study plan. For you to have a structured study plan, so there are three elements that you need to focus. You need to break down the syllabus, then you need to identify the time with the balanced subjects, and you need to incorporate revisions as well. So while doing these three, you can have a proper structured study plan. Then you need to focus on the conceptual clarity. Okay, remember, you're not doing a past paper at the exam. Or past paper exam, you will be facing to a fresh paper. So therefore, for you to complete the exam, 100% completion of the concept is a must. So that conceptual clarity has to be there. I always telling my students, if you completed your theory in full, there is no way that you will be failing the exam. But if you have gaps in your theoretical aspects, then there is a high tendency of you failing the exam. So therefore, you need to understand the key concepts correctly, and it is very much important for you to use the high quality study materials as well. So the conceptual clarity is the second strategy that you need to develop if you want to pass the exam. Then practice with mock test and past papers. This is basically a combination of phase one and phase two. While simulate the exam conditions and while analyzing the past papers, you need to practice. Practice makes you a perfect person. So in that context, you need to do past papers and you need to do mock exams as well. So while doing past papers, you can analyze the targeted area. So if you run through last 5 years past papers, you will be getting a holistic view of the upcoming paper. ගිය අවුරුදු පහේ papers ටික අරගෙන බැලුවොත් ඔයාට එන paper එක මොකක්ද කියලා judge කරගන්න පුළුවන්. So therefore, it is very much important for you to analyze the past papers, and you need to do the past papers in exam condition as well. Then Very important point. For this 14 days period, you should minimize the distraction as much as possible. You need to minimize the distractions as much as possible. So you need to have a dedicated study place at your boarding place or at your home, and you need to limit your digital distraction as well. Facebook, Instagram, for this 14 or 21 days, you should stop it. Finally, you need to understand your weak areas and you need to focus on those weak areas. So for an example, if you take corporate level, sometimes FRG might be a difficult subject to a particular person. Okay, but another person, FRG can be a manageable subject. He might have a difficulty in corporate level, another subject, let's say advanced audit and assurance. In that context, as individuals, you need to identify your weak areas and you need to focus on those weak areas. So for you to have a better study strategy, I would say you need to develop a structured audit plan. Then you need to focus the conceptual clarity is a must. Then practice, practice, practice. It may be past papers or it may be mock papers as well. Then minimize the distraction while collating all these stuff. You need to identify the weak areas of you, and now you need to focus on the respective weak areas. Okay, so let me run through few of the short notes which I prepared when I was doing lectures for corporate level. So this is how you are going to prepare short notes. Okay, so if anyone interested, just text me. I'll give my message, my number to you as well, so that I will be sharing whatever the short notes presentations that I have with regard to my subject, which is advanced audit and assurance. Okay, so this is basically a snapshot of SLAS 240, which is considered as fraud and errors, a standard which is typically tested at the exam. So the entire standard I basically took into one presentation slide. Okay, this is how you need to develop your short notes. අපි අර short note කියලා කරන්නේ මොකද්ද? කොලයක් ගන්නවා, දෙකට නවනවා, පොඩි අර්ථකථනයක් ලියනවා. That is not what you referred as short note. So short note has to be a holistic view of the entire theoretical aspects which you are learning in the classroom. Okay, so this is a classic example of SLS 240. Okay, so this is basically another short note which I prepared in the classroom itself when I was doing SLS 500, which is basically audit evidence. So this will give you a snapshot of the definition of audit evidence. Then going concern. So these are frequently tested areas at the exam. Okay, so the entire going concern standard basically I took into one A4 slide, one PowerPoint presentation. So these are the important tips that you need to have at the latter stage of your study period. So every day, every week, you need to review all these short notes as well, so that you will be basically enhancing your knowledge and you will be getting updated knowledge with every standard. Okay, so once you prepare all these short notes like this, so that you can have a master short note as well. Okay, so this is basically a master short note which cover 5 important standards which is frequently tested at the exam. Here you will be having SLS 200, which is ethical requirements. Here you will be having the short note with regard to SLS 500, which is audit evidence. Here you are having the short note with regard to fraud and errors. Here you are having a short note with regard to 570, which is going concern. Here you will be having a short note with regard to 230, which is audit documentation. So likewise, you need to have master mind map as well. So if you can go to the YouTube, and in YouTube, there are 2 videos which I uploaded with the collaboration of JMC while summarizing the entire auditing standards into one, one whiteboard. Okay, so which has been done for AAT final level, but I think it will be useful for corporate level as well. So go to the JMC YouTube channel, and when you search, you will be fine those 2 presentations which I have done. One is for 17 minutes and one is for 23 minutes. Okay. Finally, success is not final, failure is not fatal. It is a courage to continue that counts. Keep striving, learning, and growing towards your goal. So my wishes to all of you, and I hope to see all of you at the National Conference of Chartered Accountants as soon as possible. So as a chartered accountant, I would love to see my students or students who are doing chartered in the national conference as soon as possible. So in that context, we will be both in the same platform. Okay, thank you very much for your time. And now it is a time for you to ask questions if you do have any further clarifications. Viraj, I think I managed the time, but I would say I'm basically exceeding the allocated time by 5 minutes. I'm sorry for that.
No, it's totally fine, Jeewantha. I think Shafana, you can ask any
Yeah.
question.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir, for your valuable guidance. So now, as we promised, we are giving the opportunity to all of you to ask and clarify your doubts. You can ask it by send the direct message to Mr. Jeewantha Perera.
Okay, someone is asking, can you share the presentation? Right, fine. I'll share the presentation. Yeah, Viraj, I'll share the presentation with you so that you can share in the group, right?
Sure. Yes, Jeewantha. Sure, we'll do that. Jeewantha, one more thing. Now, these days, even in my firm, I can see a lot of students are taking the study leave and they are fully focusing on the exam. But you were talking about whether they can have a group discussion. But when you look at the Candy, it's very difficult for them to get together like Sri Lanka, Colombo, right? Even in the Candy office, it's closed on Saturdays and Sundays. So they are really difficult. They are facing really difficulties to doing that kind of a things. So what is your suggestion on that?
Okay, so it's like this, Viraj. So for an example, I agree with the fact that there are some logistical difficulties for you to meet up with the group work. So in that context, I would say individually you need to prepare the short notes. Okay, individually you need to prepare the short notes. Then you need to review all those short notes at regular intervals. So the most appropriate way for doing that is the group work. So that's what I personally believe. But if there are, if yes, I do understand your concern which you highlighted. Okay, so but in that context, at least review the short notes which which we have already prepared at regular intervals would give you a what you call more breathing space for you to complete these theoretical exams. Okay, then another suggestion that I need to suggest, which I followed when I was at EY, and yeah, when I was at EY as well. So for an example, let's say your office starts at 8 o'clock. Okay, then your office finishes at, let's say, 5 o'clock. For these 14 days, to most of the students, the key point is the time management. Okay, so I'm requesting all the students who are currently working, it may be in audit firm or it may be in the mercantile sector. So if you're not having adequate study leaves, for an example, if you work in the audit firm, they will be giving you enough and more study leave. But if you are working in a commercial sector, then you will be having a very limited study leave period. Okay, so for an example, in Brown Hotels and Resorts, under my team as well, so there are 3 students who are currently reading for chartered. Okay, so they are basically stuck with their work as well, and they are doing their exams as well. So whatever the advice which the advice which I gave them was is, Puta, come to office early. Okay, so we will be starting the office at 8:30 and we will be finishing the office at 5:30. But if you can come at around 7 o'clock, I will be facilitating a meeting room for them to study. Okay, then I don't want them to leave at 5:30. We will be finishing the work at 5:30, starting from 5:30 up till until 7:30, 8 o'clock, I'm facilitating a meeting room to them for them to study. So that is how you need to manage the stuff. Okay, another question asked, sir, from which year new corporate exam will happen? 2025 December or from 2026? So you will be having another shy in 2025 December as well. So as per the information which we received, the new syllabus will take place in 2026, not in 2025 December.
Jeewantha, now I also want to add one thing for those who are going to do the exam this time. So I'm not technical, so I just strategically I'm suggesting you all focus what you know at the moment. Don't bother about you
Exactly.
don't know and try to get 50 marks. Don't bother about the things you don't
Yes.
know. Just focus.
Yeah.
So I have my personal experience when I do my when I did my final one exam, management accounting. So there was a question of 30 marks. So I know
Viraj?
No, Jeewantha, I also cannot hear that one. I think
Yeah, so
it's
fine,
dropped.
fine. So yeah, so let me recap what Dhammik is highlighted. So for an example, the same thing happened for me as well. So when I was doing my chartered intermediate exam, okay, when I was doing my chartered intermediate exam, and this was happened when I'm doing my final level one as well. So I don't have the liberty. I didn't have the liberty to complete the syllabus in full. කවදාව සිලබස් එක 100% ඉවර කළා මට ඒ එක්සෑම්ස් එකේ යන්න බැරි වුණා. But there are several areas which I studied a lot, and that those areas I focused a lot. So therefore try your level best to take the cutoff mark. So if you can, yeah, if you can obtain 50 marks, you will be getting through. For chartered, obtaining 75, 80 is not practical to all the students. Okay, for an example, let's say I'm not a prize winner. Okay, in my entire chartered career, I'm not a prize winner. So basically, if you can just surpass the cutoff, I would say your hurdle is done. Okay, after that, you can focus on a prize as well. But for the time being, don't underestimate yourself. Okay, don't think about the areas which you don't know. Try to be a master in the area which you already know. So that would be the key.
That's one important aspect you need to think, because you aren't
Yes.
able to finish everything before you do the exam. So what you know
Exactly.
is like you need to manage your knowledge. If you have knowledge in certain areas, try to get maximum marks out of that area. So don't bother
Exactly.
about the things you are not losing. Just focus what you can. So just focus that you are brilliant on that. So then they get marks out of that. Then easily you can get 50 marks. But I realize most people, they are not spending time. Then you already know. So they try to get more and more knowledge. Knowledge doesn't give more results. Application will give results.
Exactly. Dhamik, spot on. And some students are saying I would suggest group Zoom meeting for this problem. Like this meeting, I would say it's 50-50. So rather than you sitting in a room with your friends and studying or discussing past papers would be the most ideal way, but I don't think that the group Zoom meeting will give you the same output. But I would say if it is in between, I would say 30 to 80%, yes, agreed.
And also don't waste time. So the discussion will give some encouragement. So try to
Yes.
focus on the specific areas. So discussion
Okay.
is very good as long as you all share in different knowledge. But if everyone is talk about the same subject, same topic, you will end up with the hours and hours but talking same subject. But if you're
Exactly.
talking about different subjects by the different people, that's good. But in the latter part of the exam, maybe they're very close to exam, don't give a discussion which discuss one specific areas because you are wasting time. If you know that
Exactly.
area, you can share knowledge, but don't spend much time on that.
Yeah. And another student is asking, sir, can you give some tips when answering the question? So, right. Okay, let me give a brief answer for that. Okay. So when you talk about my subject, so my subject is basically advanced audit and assurance. So if you want to write an answer for an advanced audit and assurance subject, I would say you need to read the entire question in full, and you need to highlight the most important areas, and it is better if you can write down all these important areas in the paper itself. In your paper itself, highlight the most important areas. So for an example, let's say in your auditing paper, so there are two questions. Okay, so there are two questions which is basically 20 marks each. So those are lengthy questions. පිටු ගණන් යන ප්‍රශ්න තියෙන අන්තිම ප්‍රශ්න දෙක. So what I wanted you to analyze those question paper in detail, each and every question analyze in detail. It is better for you to spend some time to analyze the question itself. So once you completed the analysis, which is basically considered as the answer for that. Okay, so then you need to analyze the question in full before you start your answer writing. Question එක භාගයක් කියවලා කවදාවත් උත්තරයක් ලියන්න යන්න එපා. So you need to understand the question in full, then you need to analyze the question in full. Okay, then you start answering the question. So once you completed the analysis, I would say 70% of the answer is done. Okay, sir, until when will the business exams will be held under the all syllabus? So this upcoming exam will be the last exam for business level. Okay, any more questions?
Jeewantha,
Okay,
just
sir, can you say which sector? Yeah, Viraj.
yeah, one more question now. There are many students who have gave up their exams because of the syllabus change and all. And the one factor is with their age. So what is your suggestion on that? Because we need to encourage all our CA students to do the exams and finish it. But will actually age will be a matter for them?
Well, it's like this, Viraj. So for an example, that's why I described in the very first slide as well. So as per the recent research which has been done, so the average retirement age of a person is basically considered as in the range of 45 to 50. Okay, so in the range of 45 to 50. So if you want to become a good CEO or a managing director at the age of 45 or 50, you should have more post qualification experience. You need to have more post qualification experience. So how we are going to increase the post qualification experience? By completing the exams. Okay, so you need to complete the exam. So for an example, if you take myself as an example, I'm basically 41 years old. Okay, so I completed my exams in 2008. So I started my career at EVA in 2006. Okay, so this is 2025. Okay, so you minus 2025 by 2006. Basically, my overall experience is almost 19 years now, starting from 2006 and up until today. So my overall experience is basically 19 years. Out of that 19 years, I completed my chartered exam in 2008. I obtained the membership in 2009. It's a different scenario. I obtained the membership in 2009 because I completed exams in 2008, but I had to wait another year to complete my articles. Okay, so let's take those 3 years as pre-qualification. So out of the 19 years, 3 will be classified as pre-qualification experience, and the balance 16 will be classified as post-qualification experience. Okay, so then the more you delay to complete the exams will increase your pre-qualification experience, which will have a negative impact to the post-qualification experience, because that 45-50 won't change. No, 45-50 will spend, so that is basically stagnated. So the more you delay to complete the exams will increase us the pre-qualification experience, which will reduce the post-qualification experience, and which will have a negative impact to the overall ladder, which I discussed. Okay, so it is ideal for you to complete the exams at the age of 25 or before that. But let's say you are a student who basically surpasses 25, but still it is better for you to complete the exams as soon as possible. So there are friends of mine who completed chartered at the age of 35. Okay, there are friends of mine who completed chartered at the age of 35. So last year one of my friend got qualified at the age of 40. Okay, but I don't think it's a bad thing. So you will be having some impact. Okay, you will be having some impact when you want to go up in the corporate ladder, but it's okay for you to get the chartered qualification at the age of 40 as well. Better if you can try to get at the age of 25, failing which, try to complete the syllabus or try to complete the qualification as soon as possible and try to obtain the membership. So nothing is too late, Viraj. Right, someone is asking, okay, sir, can you say which sector is better for trading? Okay, my personal advice for you, Uta, for you to get a better training, I would recommend for you to go to audit firms, because I started my career in 2006 and I ended my auditing career in 2009. So I stayed there for 3 years. I stayed there for 3 years at EY, but the experience which I gathered at EY is immense. අර mercantile එකපාරට යන්න නැතුව audit firm එක වැඩ කරලා ගන්න experience එක, it's a massive competitive advantage, because I left EY in 2009 and I started lecturing chartered and AAT auditing in 2008. Okay, so I basically left the audit firm 16 years ago. I left the audit firm 16 years ago, but still I'm conducting lectures under the subject of audit. Okay, so my recommendation for freshers, for the people who are seeking for jobs, it is better for you to start your career in an audit firm where you will be getting ample of opportunities to grow, rather than you focusing on a specific sector. So for an example, let's say you decided to cover your articles in a bank. Let's say 3 years down the line, once you completed your articles, so the only area which you're knowing is only the bank. But if you go to an audit firm like KPMG, then EY, then Deloitte's, so if you go to a big scale audit firm, so you will be getting the exposure to different sectors. So when I was at EY, I was handling hotels, I was handling financial institutions, I was handling insurance, then I was handling plantation company, manufacturing company, then real estate company, then a ticketing company. So likewise, I do have the entire spectrum covered under that 3 years period. Okay, so another student is asking, sir, I'm going to face corporate exams as overseas student. Should I answer from papers as usual way by writing papers or using MS? Please tell something. Okay, so it's better for you to develop your writing skills while using papers. Okay, so you may be an overseas student, but try to practice the questions as much as possible. Okay, any other further questions? So any available audit firms in Kandy? Yeah, Kandy is there. Viraj, am I audible?
Yes, Jeewantha. Go ahead.
Okay, fine. So at the very outset, I can do a thing like this. So for an example, I'll give my number to all of you. So if you do have any clarifications with regard to any support that you needed from me, please do not hesitate to contact me. Okay, so my if you can take down my number, that would be fine. So my number goes as 0779 539 969. 0779 539 969. And there is another number as well, 0775 421 927. 0775 421 927. So first number is 0779 539 969. Second number is 0775 421 927. So you can reach me at any given point of time. And if you do have any further support which you needed from my end, please do not hesitate to contact me. And any students who are basically reading for corporate level advanced audit and assurance subject. Okay, so any student who basically reading for advanced audit and assurance subject, which is my subject for almost 16 years. So I'm basically planning to conduct some sessions at my institute, which is basically James. That is not my institute, the institute which I'm basically conducting lectures. So I'm going to do continuous sessions until the exam date. So we will be starting at around 9:30 in the night, and we'll go till 11:30. So we will be doing some past papers as well. So any students who are participated to this session today, or any known party of you, you can share those details with them, so that I'll ask Jamesy to add them to those paper discussions as well. Okay, so someone is asking my number again. So it's not 779 539 969, not 779 539 969. And the other number is not 775 421 927. Not 775 421 927. Not doubles. I'll type in the setup. Not 779 539 969. Not 775 421 927. Okay, so you can call me. You can reach to me at any given point of time if you need any further clarifications.
Does anyone have any further questions? Yeah, again, thank you so much, sir, for your sharing your valuable time with us and sharing the valuable insights for CA journey. Hope you all were able to clarify your doubts. So now we have come to the end of this session. And also, I would like to thank Mr. Dhammika Gunasekara also. We are very honored by your presence, sir. And also, thank all of you for joining with this session today. We will see you again with another session. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thanks a lot. And thank you, Dhammika. Thank you, Viraj, for inviting me.
Thank you, Jeewantha.
Thank you, Jeewantha. See you.